I challenge you, Poker World. $100,000 of your money. Any takers? That I will be the best Russian cash player the world has ever seen. That's a challenge that I put out about a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And I had about 4 takers. 4 takers that at least seemed reasonable. Human beings that weren't just like 2 follower people that I thought probably was messing around. That was Patrick Leonard, who actually didn't get back to me, so maybe count him out. A guy called Zinhao. Don't know who that is, but I think I used to battle against him on Stars. A guy called the Nerd Guy, who I also used to battle against in high stakes MTTs. He was kind of weird about it, so I didn't want to bet him. Oh, and Andrew Chen, who I f***ing love, that guy. We were having some conversations and we were getting into the nitty gritty. And I ran into the problem that when I was streaming recently, somebody mentioned that a toxic streamer said that he was going to drop down stakes and have it out with me whenever I was playing. Now, this is a problem. It may not seem like a problem, but it is a serious problem because the bet was if I can beat Russian cash over 100,000 hands at 5 BB per 100 post rake without rake back. Now, for you all that are familiar with the GG rake structure, that means around about 14 to 15 big blinds per 100 pre-rake, which by any stretch of the imagination is crushing. Like that is annihilating a stake. And I'm playing 30% VPIP out here. I'm out there in the streets, as you'll see in this video. I'm out there 3-betting Queen 9 off. I'm going ballistic against so much of the pool because it's genuinely probably the weakest 200 pool I've ever played against in my life. Definitely the most passive, which is crazy to think about given where we are in the moment with how good people are at poker. For some reason, Russian cash just hasn't caught up. Congrats to GG for that one. So even if there's one person like 4-tabling whilst I'm there 3 or 4 tabling, it really can, and they're just like 3-betting me relentlessly against my 30% VPIP strategy, it really can decrease my win rate by like a good couple of big blinds if they're a good player. And shout out to the geese on the lake, by the way, in the holiday home at the moment with Hannah and little Bambi. And so I played around with it, and I decided that also in the other direction, because if somebody just wanted to donate me a few stacks, it's not going to be hard to work out who I am. They could easily do that as well. And I decided I didn't want to put 100,000 of my USD and someone else's USD in the hands of people that potentially might not have our best interest at heart, or the fairness of the bet, or the spirit of the bet, or anything like that. So I'm backing out. Yeah, I'm waving the white flag, but I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do the 100,000 hands. In fact, you could see right here how I'm doing over 25,000 hands. Now, only 20,000 of these are the Russian cash. Maybe we can also get the second graph that's only the Russian cash, please. So this is how the Bankroll challenge is going. $500 to $100,000. The dream is still f***ing alive. We already did the $50 to 10K, and I started at 500 again because there just happened to be that much in my account. I didn't even know I was going to be doing this Bankroll challenge when I first started grinding on it. As you can see, we're crushing. Post rake, we're at 15 big blinds per 100 at 25k hands. It's getting to be a decent sample. I haven't had too much time to play, so I don't have too much time to grind loads. But we could break even now, post rake, and still be at 5 BB per 100 at 75k hands. And I don't intend on breaking even, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm still gonna do the challenge, still gonna post my results, still show these GTO nerds what's up, how you turn $50 into, you know, this life. We're gonna post 100,000 hands. We're gonna continue the challenge. Might have to change sites at some point because there's a little bit of a boycotting of GG going on. I don't know if everyone's paying attention. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. GG have raised the rake of 5k NL and higher to being like 7 big blinds per 100 or some crazy number. And that's not sustainable to the high stakes community. It means that basically nobody can be a winner, like recreational players and professionals alike. It's a terrible move. They're making too big of steps. They're too big for their little shoes at the moment. They've just managed to overtake PokerStars as probably being the best provider and the biggest provider for online poker and live poker and things like this. And they're making a kind of move that's just this kind of FU to the players And I really don't like that. I think it's a truly idiotic move in the long run. Like, it might be in the short run of making their bottom line go up, but in the long run, it's the players that matter. It's the professionals that are selling the dream of, like, hey, zero to hero. It's us that control the narrative online on Twitter and things like that. So like Haxton going after GG recently, and it's a terrible, terrible move on their part. And I'm happy to boycott if I do get to high stakes and go play on some other sites or whatever. So this might not be a $500 to $100,000 purely on GG. In fact, I've already played a couple on Party, but we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll turn this $500 into 100K somehow or another. Enjoy the video, beautiful people. Check out my Discords and epiphanypoker.com. Leave some footage of it here. It's so cool. It's free to join if you want to join the Discords. Make sure you're actually subscribed to the YouTube. Subscribe to this YouTube, guys. Come on, I want to get this mother to 100K by the end of this. I can do this. Yeah, at least. And yeah, enjoy the video. And I love you all. Peace. Let's get down to business. There's no pool as good as the Russian cash pool. I've never found a pool that's this good. Ah, half pot on the turn, huh? Felt like we were behind a lot on the turn. Okay, good odds. But c'est la vie. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it turns fold, but whatever. Can't put too much weight into a recreational player sizings. Not in those spots, at least. Alright, here. His range is going to be well, he's going to have a bunch of 7x. He's going to have some Queen X. So let's actually just go 12 and target both of those. I was going to go big and target just the Queen X, but he's going to have so much 7-6, 9-7 of hearts, you know, hands like that. So let's just go that size, give them all a good shout, a good price. King 7 offsuit, yeah. So now I'm liking my decision. At first I was about to go big, but heavier queen means it's a lot less likely. He has something like Queen 3 that's decided to raise and check back. Plus it's a lot more likely that a 7, so good at sets by the way, it's a lot more likely that a 7 plays it that way. Whereas a queen has to make a couple of very specific decisions. It has to raise flop and then has to check turn, which is unlikely. You can bet, GTO players know you can bet very big on these boards, so I'm going to be doing it with a hand like a set. I'm not going to overbet, you know, I still want him to call his 10-9s, but I'm still going to bet big. Here we've got the best 8x possible. This guy has a really high 3-bet. I imagine that he's also going to have a really high 4-bet. I'm going to go for a 5-bet bluff. Don't hate me for it. It's not very often that I will 5-bet a recreational player with a7 suited, but it felt like the right time. If that goes wrong there, you know there's at least 3 people in the chat being like, I can't believe you watch a player that I need to stop swearing because YouTube hates it. Somebody bleep that out, editor, please. Look, 5 bets a7 suited. I can't believe that you're watching this guy burn his money. The most results-oriented... Actually, no, we're not the most results-oriented group ever. You know who is? footballers and MMA fighters. The most results-oriented group of people you'll ever find. All right, here we're gonna 4-bet. We'll go a little bit smaller than we might otherwise. Here we're gonna check raise. I can't believe you thought Manchester United even stood a chance against... I forgot who they played. Oh, it's just insanity. It's the RNG's just just like, well, today they won, you know. I can't believe you thought that manager was any good. Well, he just lost 3 flips in a row, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, poker players at least understand it at the highest levels. It feels like football players, most of them, or football fans, most of them don't even understand it at the highest levels. Don't understand variance. Okay, it's got its own face. Pretty cool. Alright, if this was a pro, I'd be a lot more inclined to check. As goes check, he overbets a lot, you know, stuff like that. It just felt like the kind of hand that can call any turn very, very comfortably, and a spot where people would end up bluffing quite a lot versus a check. You can 3-bet smaller against recreational players when they're opening late position, or if they have like a wide range from other positions as well. And the reason for that is, and again, you don't find solver people telling you this. They're going to be opening ace-3 off on the button. They're going to be opening king-8 off on the button. What size? I'll ask you this. What size 3-bet? If they're opening, say, king-8 off it, what size 3-bet do you need to go from the small blind to make it fold? Not big. It don't need to be big. So we're probably winning this hand. The question is when and how. And I think the answer is on the river, mostly. Yeah. It was not going to be a very pretty run out to go bet shove. But given his flop timing, I was a lot more inclined to do so. Wait, does this mean streamer? It does. It's probably not a fish. It's still a good 3-bet. But let's actually check back. Against the recreational player, you shouldn't check back in. Oh, I was meant to raise this. I was too busy getting distracted. Alright, here again, the snap call doesn't mean as much when it's this kind of board, but we are going to keep barreling and fold him out of anything that's worse than a king, like pocket nines, things like this. And, never mind. No. Yeah, the snap call there can definitely just mean a king. Whereas in the other spot on the 6-6 board or 8-8 board or whatever it was, it's very hard for these snap calls to mean. I'm not comfortable with the sizing, by the way. It feels very valuable in this spot. It's very hard for the snap calls to mean much. Yeah. Here we're going to get value from pairs with a diamond. So like sixes with a diamond, etc. Maybe some like ace-10 offsuit with a diamond. Hmm, 17, eh? Hold it. Just saying hi to my friend here. Back in my throwing party days, Cal thought he's a streamer. Cal and I, he came to one of my parties that I hosted, and I hired out a super yacht. And of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. And if anyone on YouTube ever watches this, or anyone from the government ever watches this, for some reason this is a complete joke. But there was just a shit ton of drugs and a bunch of people that would not usually be able to afford these things, just wandering around on a super yacht. And then went to a 5-star hotel, and we had a shit ton of rooms there. It was I need to stop swearing. It was a crazy fun time. But now there's one person in the player pool that definitely knows who I am. I was being a little bit coy there, so if anyone happened to be watching, then they wouldn't get it. This display picture looks like it's already an emoji. It's very distracting. Alright, so he's got King 10, he's got King Queen, and 6s with a club, hands like that. So, you know, I'm naming all the hands that we beat here. Whether we would actually beat them in the hand, because, you know, they will end up bluffing a ton, is another story. I don't know if it feels bluffy, actually. Alright. It did feel bluffy. Or did I just lead this? Just led the flop. I looked up expecting to see myself in the small blind, and I was in the big blind. I was like, oh, guess I'm leading King 9-9 now. It's not the worst spot to do it. Okay, so apart from me, of course, this guy is probably the best reg in the field so far that I've come across. Seems to play reasonably well. He feels very GTO-y, which I'm very comfortable playing against. Yeah, against a good player that's thinking a lot, his timing makes me think he might be fucking either mass multi-tabling or a bot. So, dude, speed up. But against a very good player here, I'm going to be sizing up, making him think that I don't have too much ace-x here. And yeah, kind of polarizing myself there. Just play quicker though, dude. Otherwise I'm going to be very skeptical. For you all that don't know, there's actually there's a lot of talk recently about which player pools have a lot of bots in, and I've not noticed any in 200 Russian cash. I don't know what that's about. I just haven't noticed anyone that's like suspicious, and so you know I'm keeping relative amounts of suspicion around the players that are playing very well, just because you know if there are any, it's going to be them. But I haven't seen anything that's like, okay, that's gonna be a bot. What the fuck does that mean? It was different. No, exactly the same. Oh, 20 bigs. Let's go. Good luck. Well played. Alright, so this guy's opening. It's kind of too good a spot to turn down, I think. Fortunately. Alright, we'll check back. Twice. 3 times. Double cash drop, huh? Oh, because it's Friday? Nice. I guess we're playing Fridays. Deuce 3 offsuit and 7 deuce offsuit, huh? Cool. Alright, we're calling the 4-bet. C-betting big over here. Alright, so any check calls here? What's he got? We don't need protection against ace king and ace queen because they only have 3 outs. Let's hope it was them. He can also turn some stuff into a bluff now because I shouldn't have too much ace-x in my range. So when he checks river, I don't know if I get what the hell he has. I guess it's just some random 10. King 10. Let's do that. There's a million different thought processes that a reg could have in these spots. They can think that they have more ace-x than they actually do. They could turn out with ace-5 and just feel like they have to call. That's always a possibility. They could think that it's really hard for me to turn up with a bluff here, so they end up making some big folds. It's impossible to know what kind of thought process he's going to have in this kind of situation. So we just have to go big and hope he has one of the thought processes that's it's leaning towards making a hero call. And he does have ace-5 in this spot. Nice. Alright, we'll call that a day. It's going to be the last hand. Globe will sit out. No, stop recording. Nice turn. Can actually consider leading here. Interestingly enough, it's not a spot where people bluff much. It is a spot where he will check back a lot of hands. And it's a spot where it looks like we could have a decent amount of bluffs. So we're going to go for it. And now again, it's the same spot as before. It's, oh wait, for some reason I didn't realize we had a boat. I thought flush still beat us. But it's the same spot as before, even whether or not we have a boat. It's a spot where they could think that we're over bluffing or under bluffing. It's hard for us to turn a bluff. It's hard for us to turn a value. So we just go big and hope that he has one of those thought processes that thinks we're over bluffing. And you could go smaller with bluffs if you wanted to. Anyway, peace.